Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On today we'll be transforming and updating this footstool. Now this footstool does have some wear. You can see that the foam is loose and flat in some areas, so we'll be replacing that. Now it does open up and it has hinges, so we'll have to remove those hinges. Also, there is studs around the bottom. We'll have to remove the studs. I've already started taking them off on one side, so we're going to continue removing the studs as well as taking all of the hinges off the inside. All of my studs have been removed from the bottom and I'm pulling back the fabric on the side. I noticed that the brackets on the side are missing the screws. So here I have some 1-inch screws and I'm about to drill those in the sides of the stool for support. Now that I have my side brackets secure, I can begin taking the hinges or the top off the stool. So there's 2 screws at the top. I'll unscrew those screws so that the top will release. My top is off, but my edges are still exposed. So I will just take these 2 screws off as well and take the hinges all the way off. Once my bend is free of the hinges, I'll cut my fabric to size and then I'll be ready to staple it around the top side of the box. So now you see me putting a staple in the side of my box, and I'm doing that to hold the material in place. I don't have footage of me putting the staples on the inside of the box, but you see me now putting staples on the bottom near the legs. I'm doing this so that it'll hold the fabric in place, and I'll cut away the excess material all the way around the box. As you can see, my fabric doesn't stretch all the way around, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do right now is continue stapling my fabric that's on the box all the way under. I'm going to fold down my corners once again like I'm wrapping a package and staple them down. I'll use my hammer to make sure that my staples are going all the way into the wood. Now I'm ready to do the second half of my stool. So I'm going to take my fabric and actually I'm going to place it face down and I'm going to staple to make a seam. So I'll staple from the bottom to the top. Once I've done my staples, I'll fold my fabric down and now you can see it made a seam and you're showing the front side of the fabric. Then I'll do the same thing that I did on the first half. Now I'm ready to pull my fabric tight. I want to pull it tight along the bottom of the stool around the leg, and then I want to staple. I want to keep on stapling along the bottom, flipping from side to side. Once I get to the last side, I'll be ready to cut away any excess material. Here you see me stopping, pulling my fabric tight, then folding in the corner, and this is where the 2 fabrics meet. I want to fold it back underneath and I want to staple as on that seam. and then I'll continue stapling along the edge, using my hammer to ensure that my staples are inside the wood tightly. And now I'll just continue cutting that fabric as close to the staples as possible. Here you see me once again making those gift wrap folds in each of the corners. Once my corners are complete, I'm going to take my shears once again to clean up my edges to make it look neat. Here is a look at the inside of the box. Here you can see where I folded my fabric down, made it as smooth as possible for the inside of the box. I followed the lining that was already there and stapled the fabric down. Now we're ready to work on the top of the bench. I've cut all the buttons off and now I'm cutting away the fabric from the top of the bench. Now I'm going to take my 1-inch foam, double it, and start to put it underneath the padding or the foam that's already here, just to level it out where it's weak or where it has been worn down. Once I've added enough 1-inch foam to get the desired thickness, I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue to spray or to stick that foam to the wood. Once that's done, I'll spray the top of the 2-inch foam and add the original foam back to the top. Now I'm ready to add batting to the top of the foam. I'll use my Gorilla Glue to ensure that my padding is firmly in place, and then I'll cut my batting to size. I'm going to use a throw to cover the bench. I've cut it in half. I'm going to flip it over and start stapling it to the back side of the top of the bench. Because the throw is so heavy and thick, I'm taking extra care and making sure that my corners are not bunched up. I'm smoothing out and pulling as tight as possible so that the corners will be smooth and rounded. I'm also cutting away all excess material, as well as making sure that it's cut close to the staple as possible so that it will have a nice clean finish. I'm about to reattach the top to the base of the stool. Now I'm ready to put the hinges back on the base in the same position where it was, using the same holes that were there. I felt across the top and I can feel where the holes are through the fabric. I have all my hinges back in place. We're just going to tighten them up, and when I'm done, we'll be ready for the reveal. And here is my footstool storage bench completed. It turned out absolutely beautiful. I hate to keep saying it, but when it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And guess what, guys? It turned out absolutely beautiful. I added the extra foam on the top so that when I rest my feet on it, it will be comfortable, and I love it. I love the fullness of it. And I'm so happy I decided to put it. Here it is underneath. Once again, I made my faux line for the material as close to the line that was there as possible. And I cut my fabric as close to the staple line as possible to give it a neat appearance. Once again, absolutely love the bench, and I think it's a great addition to the master bedroom. It works perfectly with the two chairs that I reupholstered. I do have a tutorial on that, and it will be listed below. And before we end the video, I had an idea. My bench was looking a little boring, so instead of adding the studs that were already there, I had some leftover ones from another project, and I put them on this stool just to give it a little bit more character. I think it worked out really well, and this was just before I was ready to complete my video. I hope you guys will comment and tell me which one you like best. So if you guys have enjoyed this video and its content, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you'll be aware of all my upcoming videos. Share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to come back. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.